as Binance, of course, one of our main goals is to reach up to 1 billion users. And we have over 270 million users. So, we're well on our way there. Actually, let me put on the slide. You guys must tweet the Binance JHB Meetup. We're well on our way there to 1 billion, but it's going to take time. But that is to say that, crypto has been around for a while. It's a solidified asset. Whether you believe in it or not is a different story. We do. That's why we're here. We believe crypto has the potential to reshape the future. And in some cases, especially in regions facing currency depreciation, facing inflation, crypto has the potential to just give some breathing room to some of those people. Crypto is a very powerful tool. And so we here at Binance are trying to show you guys that and educate you guys about the use of crypto, both in good economic times and in uncertain economic times. It's an investment asset class like any other. It's just our favorite, obviously. And with that, I want to get you guys to help me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Koshiek Karan. Some of you might know him. Welcome. Let me finish. The hoodie's coming. Let me finish off the bio. He's a serial entrepreneur, serial investor, and a leadership mentor. He's got a decade plus of global experience in investment management and in both traditional finance and within the cryptocurrency space. So we got the big guns, you know what I'm saying? Please welcome again Koshiek Karan, and we're going to chat about how to navigate uncertain economic times, what to look out for, where to look for it, and how to think long term, right? Without further ado, let's get started.
All right, good morning, everyone. How's everyone feeling? You good? Listen, firstly, thank you so much for coming out this morning. I know many of you may have waited quite a long time to get in, but you're in. And, I just want to chat to you this morning about navigating crypto and volatility and stuff like that, all really fancy terms that we'll break down. But before we get stuck into it, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I'm keen for you to engage and put your hands up, shout yes. How many of you own any crypto? Yes? Great. How many of you think crypto is a scam? What? Whoa, so what are you doing here? There's people waiting outside. You should just swap you out. Okay. How many of you have Betway accounts? Hollywood Bets, Betway. Okay. You can see where I'm going with this, right? Okay. How many of you feel like crypto is going to make you super rich? Right? That's good. And how many of you feel crypto is going to make you super rich this year? Okay. This week? No? Okay, there's too many hands. So first things first, I have a background in investment banking. I've been an investment banker for about 10 years, worked in London, New York, Joburg. So I've got a lot of experience in traditional finance. So what am I doing here in crypto? And why do I believe in it? So the first thing is crypto is not a get-rich-quick scheme. All right, let's get that out the room. Step one. So if anyone tells you, put in 1,000 Rand and tomorrow I'm going to give you 100,000 Rand, it's a scam, right? It's not gambling. It's not Betway. It's not those accumulator bets. I know some of you bet on Arsenal. Terrible team to bet on. Don't do it. So the first thing to always remember, if anything sounds too good to be true, it is. Right? So don't see those on Instagram. You see the guys with the Lamborghinis and the sunglasses and the flashy suits. That's not what cryptocurrency and the ecosystem is about. Okay? Crypto at its heart is very dry, it's boring, it's slow, and it's at its infancy. It's young, it's a toddler, right? The banking system has been around for about 400 years. The first stock markets are 350 years old. Crypto is in its first little infancy. And that means crypto can be a bit volatile, and it can be a bit risky. How many of you have lost money on crypto? Right? How many of you have lost money on meme coins? Right? I don't know why my hand is up. I should know better, but it wasn't, right? So here's the thing. In the crypto landscape, you can put cryptocurrency into different buckets. One bucket being Bitcoin, the ultimate, the top dog, the OG, the safe haven, digital gold. Then you have altcoins. You have the Ethereum, Solana, XRPs, SUIs, smaller caps, emerging. Less of a store of value, more focus on utility. And in the final bucket, you have the meme coins, the Doge coins, the Pengus, the fart coin. Someone owns fart coin. You shouldn't say that in public. Don't let people know that. Okay? So how do you know what's a good cryptocurrency? How many of you own Bitcoin? Okay. How many of you own Solana, XRP, Ethereum, everything else? Okay. And so how many of you own meme coins? Okay. So the people that own meme coins don't own Bitcoin and they don't own everything else. Okay. So I'm going to go through a checklist. So you feel free to, take out your phone, put on your notes app, make a couple of notes on what I look for and what I know will be helpful to you to look for when looking at what's a good cryptocurrency. All right. Step one is to find out what does this cryptocurrency do? What makes it valuable? Right? What makes it valuable? How many of you own stocks? I also own stocks, ton of stocks. Right? Apple stock. If you own an Apple stock, you know that Apple makes iPhones. Apple does media, they do technology, they do a whole lot of things. But Apple has cash flow. So how do you measure cryptocurrency if you don't have cash flow? You don't know how to value it. So the number one question is, what gives a cryptocurrency value? Another fancy word for value is utility. How do you use it? Let's use Bitcoin as an example. Bitcoin is seen by many people as a store of value. Right? Similar to physical gold, digital gold. Encrypted, decentralized, a pure form of value. Other cryptocurrencies have utility, stuff you can use it for. You go to the supermarket and you pay with your cryptocurrency. It's like having cash in your wallet. Other cryptocurrencies give you ownership of an asset. Tokens, fan tokens. You need to go into a concert, you can pay with that. You can enter with that cryptocurrency. If you need to come to the event, you have access with that token. And so step one is always understanding, what does this cryptocurrency give me? If you ever putting your cash into a cryptocurrency purely because it's going to go up tomorrow, there's a word for that, and that word is Ponzi, right? Pyramid. If anyone ever tells you, put your money into something, it's going to go up tomorrow. Take it out, put more money in, it's going to go up tomorrow. That's a pyramid scheme, that's a Ponzi scheme. And that is exactly why many people who are not in crypto, who aren't familiar with Web3, who don't know about concepts like blockchain, believe crypto is a scam. Crypto has no value. How many of you have encountered people who will tell you, it's a scam, don't touch it? Right? Financial advisors, wealth advisors, people out there in banking love telling you it's a scam. The question is it a scam or is it something you don't understand? All right? And the only way to answer that is through education and through knowledge and through constantly upskilling yourself. Right? So again, crypto is not a get rich quick scheme. and let's put that aside. So what makes it very volatile? So, as I said, crypto is in its infancy. The global banking system has been around for a really, really long time. But what happens in crypto that you find, particularly with retail investors, people start investing or buying or trading things that they do not understand, right? And the first step is to distinguish between trading, investing, and gambling, right? Gambling, Betway, Hollywood bets, putting money in and hoping to get 100 times your money back. Trading, buying something for the short term and selling it in the short term. And investing is something you do over a very long period of time. And so I know it's not incredibly exciting to stand in front of you and to share with you that crypto is a long-term play. It's important for you to de-risk, and it's important for you to understand what you're buying. It's a lot more sexy if I stood here and said, invest in this coin, and tomorrow you'll buy a Lamborghini, right? And that's how you get social media followers. That's how you get people to buy into what you're selling. Because greed sells. And that's part of what increases volatility within this ecosystem. Whether it's a stock market or the crypto market, there's two main drivers that move every single market every single day. Two very powerful emotions. One of them is fear, and one of them is greed. Right? I mean, who's familiar with Warren Buffett, who just retired last week? Few of you are. The classic saying is, buy when people are greedy, or buy when people are fearful, and sell when people are greedy, which is the opposite of what people do. And so when you see the crypto market crash, the first thing you think is, oh no, I need to sell. I need to panic. The first thing you do when the crypto market is hot right now, the crypto market's in such a great place, you want to buy, right? Because you're like, oh man, if I only put in 1,000 Rand in Bitcoin in 2017, when I was still in high school, man, I could have been retired. And this is super important, and I want to spend some time going through this. How many times have you seen people in this space who stand in front of you, whether it's social media or anywhere, and they'll tell you, I invested into Bitcoin way back, and now I'm a multi-millionaire. Every single person has a story, right? They got in early. They were the first people in. But here's the thing. What you see on social media doesn't reflect the reality of many people, right? You're only seeing the highlight reel. You're seeing the Lamborghinis. You're seeing the fancy stuff. You're seeing all the winners. How many times are you seeing people post the money they lose in cryptocurrency? Do you see it? You don't. I mean, many of you have lost money, including me, in crypto. I don't post the losers. I want to forget about it, right? I don't want to see it. And that's the important part. The stuff you're seeing is only validating success. And so you equate cryptocurrency with success, right? But behind those successes, thousands and millions of dollars are being lost every single day in the market. And so what's important is to zoom out and to unplug and to say, let me focus on the whole picture as opposed to only the highlights. Right? It's like watching a football game and only seeing the goals that someone scores. And you think, wow, they're a great player. But if you watch the whole game, you know that they're just tapping in goals. They're not a great football player. So what it means for you in terms of volatility, it's something very simple. It means you must be willing, in anything you hold, for it to go down. If you're gambling and you're speculating, and there's no judgment against you on that, make sure it's money you can afford to lose. If you're throwing 100 rands into Dogecoin, which has very little value and low utility, and it just bounces up all over the place, you got to make sure you're willing to lose that cash. If you're investing, you stay disciplined. Through the cycle, you put that cash in, you forget about it. You manage your timeline, you manage your expectations. So before ever worrying about volatility, ask yourself, can I afford to lose this? What's my investing holding period? How much risk am I taking on? 3 questions. I'll go through it again. Am I willing to lose this money? How long am I holding this for? And what is my total return? Why am I holding it? All right. So, okay, say that again. All right. So your first step is basically at the top. Why am I holding this? How long am I holding this for? And can I stomach that volatility? Right. If it goes down, am I going to panic? Now, crypto has a way of going down in a big way. It goes down 80%, it goes down 70%, just like crazy, right? The important part is being able to say, what do you do when it goes down? So there's 2 strategies that I use that I'll share with you. And one of them is called dollar cost averaging. Who's familiar with dollar cost averaging? Lots of you. Seems like you all have to dollar cost average because of your bad positions. All right? Okay, this is how it works. Every single time a certain cryptocurrency or a token or a coin or anything that you own dips past a certain point, you buy up more. So give you a quick example. If you bought at $100 one coin and it drops to $30 and you buy another coin, your average price is now $65. Quick math, right? That's how it works. Dollar cost averaging in crypto up to now has been proven to be very successful as a strategy. A lot in crypto, also in stocks. You buy the dip. Some of you are familiar with that term, right? Buy the dip. Buy the dip, look for opportunities. A very clean way to do it, I know Binance has the functionality, and something I use is called auto buy. At the end of every month, like a debit order, it goes into Bitcoin, goes into crypto. Every single month, forget about it. Don't look at it, forget about it. The reason this becomes so powerful is we don't know where the market is going to bottom. Who thinks crypto is going to, or Bitcoin is going to hit 150,000 this year? Few of you do. Who thinks it's going to hit 200,000 this year? Fewer people. Who thinks it's actually going to fall from 105? Well, the man who won the hoodie thinks it's going to dip. That's should give that hoodie back. But here's the thing, we don't know when the market is going to dip and when it's going to be at the lowest point. Ideally, we do. This is the bottom, we're going to buy it. Second strategy that's very, very useful to look at is to look at when people are panicking and when people are fearful. Right now, people are greedy. And you know how you know that? Number one, this room is full of people, right? Then there's people outside waiting to get in. If you looked at crypto meetups a year ago, it was half as full. And there weren't people outside. So it tells you where you are in the cycle. And it tells you what the sentiment is. That doesn't mean you should stop investing, but it does mean you should think about whether or not the market is either greedy or people are fearful. The best times to buy in stocks and in crypto is when people are fearful, right? And so that's something you constantly think about and constantly look at. The final thing that I want to leave you with is the future of markets, of stock markets, of crypto, of everything is decentralized, right? How many of you use Uber or Tinder or Spotify or anything, right? That's a little app on your phone, Uber Eats. Once it's done, Airbnb is a good example. Everyone's become a landlord now, right? And they made it worse in hotels because hotels you check out and it's like, there's no cleaning fee and you don't have to get in early and everyone's a landlord. And that's what cryptocurrency is enabling. Where you can now own the economy. You can make payments cross-border. That's super cheap. Cheaper than a bank. Who's unhappy with their bank? I'm unhappy with my bank. Right? Banks are expensive. And there's two hands. I like that. I come from banking, right? I made a career in banking, and I'm here to tell you that banks will be disrupted. Banks are slow. Banks are old. Banks are becoming obsolete. Traditional finance as we know it will not exist in a few years from now. It will not exist. I've seen the inside of the machine. I've helped build that machine. I've profited off that machine. And there's a good reason I'm not in the machine anymore, right? Because that's not where the opportunity is. That's not where the value is. The value is in decentralization. The future is in blockchain. The future is in crypto. In fact, you could argue with me that that's not the future, it's the now, right? Whether it's payments, whether it's a store of value, whether it's decentralization, remove yourself from making money and focus yourself obsessively on creating value. If you create value, you will make money. If you make money, you won't necessarily create value, right? And that's the most important thing in this cycle. I've seen this space go through crashes. I've seen this space go through peaks. I've seen people lose a lot of money. I've seen people make a lot of money. The only people that are still surviving in this industry are people that are building practical use cases that are changing society for the better. So all I'm here to share with you today is educate yourself as much as possible. Learn as much as you can about crypto. You're not going to get rich quick. You will get rich. It won't be very fast. And focus on exactly how crypto is changing people's lives every single day. Focus on the use cases. Everything else will fall into place. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I hope it was useful.